The plan here is to earn $30,000 a month. Now, this is by no means our first rodeo. We've been here before, we've built giant sites, but here we're gonna show our plan from basically nothing where we are today until building up a site to get to 30,000 page views a month. We're gonna talk about how many posts it takes, how long it takes, and some really cool little strategies we're using to build up big traffic on our websites. But it's a little uncomfortable for me to sit like this, so if you could just please come down here like a normal person and join me in the office, that'd be great. We just released our flagship blogging course for our members on Income School. It has been a months-long process to get everything perfect. It's launched and out there. I guess it was yesterday. I looked at my schedule and I was like, hey, wait a minute, I can start a new project. I'm so excited. And so what I want to do is I want to get back in the trenches. We kind of switch between teaching and trenches. It's my time to get in and get blogging. So we're going to build up Backfire.tv into a gigantic media mogul? Monsoon. Massive. Money pit. No. Website. But just putting this on a piece of paper doesn't do anything, right? But let's do some math. $30,000 a month. How do we get there? Well, if we say an average website, according to the survey that we have performed, is earning $29.08 per month, we take 30,000 divided by 2908 and it equals 1,031,636 page views per month. Now this portion sounds a little messy, and so essentially what we're trying to do is 1 million page views a month. Paper 2. Traffic sources, content types. Sources. Basically, if this is a thermometer, we're going to fill up 100,000 of the traffic of that 1 million with direct traffic and YouTube traffic. Now, we started the Backfire YouTube channel a while ago, and that's going to help us to rank on this website. At one point, we even got 100,000 page views in a month just by sending people from Backfire's YouTube channel over to the blog. Now that's died way down. We're not even near that right now because we've taken a long hiatus from Backfire as we've been busy doing teaching for a long time. That's definitely helpful. I think to get to this 1 million, we could build it back up and try to get that 100,000 coming from YouTube to the blog. But then all of this needs to be organic traffic. Now another thermometer. Now we're talking, my thermometer's looking good. Yes, sir. We're going to make a goal of 150,000 of the page views coming from database sources and the rest of it coming from just regular old blog posts. So database sources, let's talk about that. We need to get out of there and onto the computer. So quite a while ago, I was looking at something on a firearms topic. I looked at 6.5 Creedmoor, recoil, and this is incorrect information. And I looked through and we get to forums and I'm like, this is one of the most popular firearms in existence right now. How is it this hard to find this information? Then I searched some other things and pretty much everything about recoil links to this one article on chuckhawks.com. Now this is valuable, but hasn't been updated in a while, and a lot of the really popular cartridges are not even on here. And anytime I have a hard time finding something on Google, I know something beautiful is about to happen because it means I'm about to get some traffic. I'm gonna make a resource myself, right? So now, how much traffic is this actually getting? Anecdotally, I see that it's getting quite a bit because it's showing up in the search results all the time. But let's hop into Ahrefs. If you are an Income School member, you'll know kind of our history here and why we might be using Ahrefs right now. Let's go to Site Explorer. and we're going to go to chuckhawks.com. Organic search, scroll to the bottom. Well, would you look at that? That one very out-of-date blog post that I showed you here, that's bringing in north of 10,000 page views a month, and that's if you were to believe this number that usually I do not believe. I think it's probably doing much more than that. And so what I started doing is I went crazy like an insane person, creating this massive database of information on firearms. And so what we do with that is we go on to backfire.tv, and I've been creating these beautiful dashboard pages with all that data. Once I generate all the data for the industry, these pages are a cinch to create. All the information is right there. Now, the goal of this page, well, it is an SEO experiment for sure. I want to see what happens with a more dashboard style page, but it's so linkable and it's going to help us so much with the direct traffic for these, plus just some that are very much in the style of what we just saw in this rifle recoil table, right? I can just print a bunch of different pages like this in a few minutes with all this data. That's why I say in this particular niche, we're going to generate about 150,000 page views from these database sources. Now, I want you to think about how you could implement that in your industry. I wouldn't go too crazy, especially if you're a newer blogger. I would stick to just normal blog posts. But let's say you're making a website about running. You know, could you make an incredibly detailed database style resource on running shoes, of the weight of all the most popular running shoes and how thick the sole is and the springiness that you're testing and all the kinds of different things on 200 pairs of running shoes? Like, maybe that's a really cool resource that you could create for people that's just going to be link bait and could help you to create a bunch of other content much more quickly by having that generated. And so this is something that I'm going to spend a couple months on, creating some of these database resources, because I think they're going to help the whole site to grow. Paper 3. So from blog posts, we're trying to generate 850,000 page views per month. So our goal is always 1,000 page views per month per article. So every time I write a blog post, I'm wanting that to get 1,000 page views every month. Every once in a while, I hear some people kind of squawk on that and say, that's not realistic, whatever. We see examples all the time. Well, we just bought a website called Farewell Pets or Farewell Pet. We'll put it in text on the screen, but we just bought it. And that site is doing very well. It's far exceeding the 1,000 page views per month per post. I gave the example of fuelingteens.com. That's in a YMYL industry doing the same thing. We see examples all the time, even today, even from new bloggers. So if we take 850,000 divided by 1,000, we are going to get that we need to write 850 blog posts. Now the question is, how long do we have to write those blog posts? Well, our goal is to get to $30,000 a month from the entire Backfire brand. We're going to include some YouTube in there. If I budget out my time of 24 months to write this, we run into a problem. Let's look at it. 24 months is 730 days. So if we've got to get to 850 posts in 730 days, that means each day we need to write 1.369 posts. Except if I do this, there's no way we're going to hit the goal. Go in there. Die. There's no way we're going to hit the goal because it takes time for those posts to rank. It's going to take 8 to 12 months normally, but by the time the site is established, they'll rank more quickly. Maybe let's call that 4 months. So we'll take 5 months to rank. So at the end, we're going to essentially give ourselves 580 days to write those 850 posts, which means we need to produce 1.72 posts per day. So here's the thing. I can't write 1.72 blog posts per day. There's no way I could do it myself because we're trying to run a company. But even if I weren't trying to run a company and I could dedicate full time to this, you just get burned out. Very, very few people could really stick with that kind of schedule and be learning fast enough to write that much content that quickly. And so we're going to have to do some outsourcing. In fact, we're going to do a lot of outsourcing. The way we're going to approach this is I'm going to write 50 articles myself. There are just some of the topics where I just feel like, oh man, I really want to put my own thing on this, and I know I could do a good job on those. Those are incredibly important no matter how advanced you are in blogging. Some people get to the point that they feel like I just don't need to write anymore, I can outsource everything. And that's usually where I see sites start to plateau. We talked about that 2 weeks ago when we talked about the portfolio of websites. You know, on Camper Report, we had hundreds and hundreds of articles, and still of the top 20, 30 articles, a huge portion of them were ones that I personally wrote. And that's just because I'm the blog owner and I'm going to care about it more than anybody else. And so I want to put that same effort toward this website. But even if I write 50 blog posts, we're still way short of that 850 number. And a lot of the very best topics that I'm finding in search analysis in our industry really requires an expert's knowledge, somebody who really knows their stuff. It's very technical kind of information. And so that's a problematic industry to go into, because how am I going to outsource the content? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the easier queries that somebody not necessarily knowledgeable about the topic could become a journalist about and go find the information and write a good article. And we'll just use our contentwarrior.com service for that. Then the rest of the content we're going to outsource to freelancers. And so you can see at the top of backfire.tv, I put apply to be a gun writer. You can go look at the page. It says what we're paying, everything, all the details there for those writers. And then I just hire one person that edits their articles, kind of coordinates with them. With freelance writers, I like having them write 2 to 3 times a month so they don't burn out, but are still interested in writing. So I've already looked through all of those applications of people that have submitted that form. We got a lot of submissions to that form. We've made our picks and we're hiring that team this week for people to write on that website. Then there's one other group that we can outsource the content to. So we've created a bunch of videos on backfire.tv. We have 69 videos live on the channel right now, on the Backfire YouTube channel. And I say, well, wait a minute. If I already said what I have to say about that topic in the YouTube video, why don't I just hire a writer to watch that video and not transcribe it? That's not a very good user experience. But just write an article based on exactly what I said and write it as me. Say like, when I tested this product. So of the 69 videos there, I identified about 24 that I think are suitable for a blog post. Now I got a different title and everything, but they can just take screenshots of the video for the product photos and everything like that. So that's a great category here for outsourcing a big chunk of the content. So in short, our goal is to get 200 posts on the website by the end of the summer by outsourcing some of the things a little bit more quickly using some of these videos. Just get a nice batch of content up as quickly as possible. And then we're going to slow down a little bit and try to get about a post a day simultaneous to that and also afterward. So here's the search analysis that I'm doing for this website. Income School members, you know, you have seen this. This is our new search analysis tool. On YouTube, I'm going to have to blur out some of the portions and not show some of the columns and things that we're doing here. But I found this primary search query, do hunters eat what they kill? To me, that sounds like it could be a good query, but I'm concerned about the search volume a little bit, and so I want to kind of size up the content a little bit to try to hit a lot of different similar searches with one great resource so that I make sure that there's enough search volume. So the title that I came up with is What Animals Hunters Do and Don't Eat, a complete guide. I love it because this could rank for, do hunters eat crows, whatever, a whole bunch of different things. And so I really like this post, and so I started writing it myself. I've only done a little bit. I wrote the answer target and some of the major categories here. And I feel like this is going to be a great resource. So this is the type of post that I'm looking for, that we're going to be writing on the site. Now, we just need to do it 849 more times. But there's a reason that very few people build a website to 1 million page views a month. I've done it before. I had improvephotography.com that I ran for years, and it was in that very high traffic area. And the reason that I haven't done it since is because it's too much fun to start a new website. It just is. We'll start building up a website, it's going really good, and there's a reason, right? We want to try different things and different industries and things to benefit you. But it has been a little bit, and since we've had that mega site, and I feel like it's time. And so start your clocks. It's a 24-month time period. I think we can get there on backfire.tv. I hope you enjoy the journey, and do you see something like this and you decide what you're going to do with it. You know how many people are going to watch this video and just leave afterward? I mean, go get yourself some poster board, make your master plan. What are you going to take on? Because 24 months from now, what would it be like to be getting $30,000 a month? Now, there are no guarantees. We have a lot of assumptions about how much traffic we'll get, etc., in building up this website. But we've done it before, and I hope we can do it again. And we're going to keep you along on the journey for backfire.tv.